I just did it once, that like I'm
All right, friends, we have our calculators out, we're gonna need them. We have one more problem. We're doing our notes. So Michael, let's focus now.
No, I asked him for a pencil.
I got them right down here. You can have one, you get to keep it.
Thank you so much.
These are found.
I lost my one home.
So let's go, we're on the very back of our notes, and we're getting ready to do the box problem, what we call the box problem. So, here is the scenario. We have a piece of paper that is 15 by 12. And we are going to cut square corners out. So sometimes I actually have to do this, but we don't have time, so we're just gonna imagine it. So we're gonna cut these corners out. And then we're going to take these flaps and fold them up and make a little box with no lid. You see how that's working? Okay. So here's the job. I don't know how big these corners are. They're squares, so they're X by X. And my job is to get a box with a volume of 125. Does it make sense to you that the volume will change depending on how big your corners are?
Yeah.
So we want to make the box that has exactly a volume of 125. So here we go. What is our equation for the volume of the box? Just in general, not this box, but in general, like from geometry. Length times width times height. So here we go, length, width, and height. The original paper had a length of 15, but that is not the length of the box. This is the length of the box. So what would that be? 15 minus 2x, because I took a piece off the bottom and the top, right? So 15 minus 2x. What about the width of the box? It was 12, but remember, I ripped some stuff off. 12 minus 2x. And what about the height of the box? Remember, you're folding these flaps up. How high is that box? X. And there is your equation. Now you want that equation to equal 125, right? Okay, so what I am going to suggest you do is go to y equals and put in two equations. We're going to put this one in, and we're going to put that one in, and then we're going to look to see where they cross each other. So here we go, go to y equals. You can type this in with the parentheses. You don't have to FOIL that out. Go ahead and type it in with it. So 15 minus 2x. And then type in for y2, type in 125. Now, before you hit graph, I don't care, you can go ahead and hit graph, but I don't know what you're going to see. We have to plan a little bit. In your window, you have X, min, and max. Zoom 6 isn't going to work here. That's not going to give you a reasonable window. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. We're not going to mess with anything except the mins and the maxes. want you to think about X for a second. X is the corners you're ripping out. What is the smallest X could be? Okay, I have a piece of paper. I'm gonna start ripping out. What's the smallest chunk I could rip out from the corner? Can I rip out -10?
1.
Can I rip out 0.5?
Yeah. Take 0.
I gotta be bigger than 0. So my X min is gonna be 0. Whatever I rip is gonna be bigger than 0. Would you agree with that? So in the window, top row of buttons, one says window, 0. Now what's the biggest X could be? Now remember, my piece of paper is 12 units across. I am gonna rip a chunk from this side and from this side. So can I take off 10 from each side?
No.
6. The biggest I could possibly take off is 6. So X max is 6. Why 6? Because it's half of 12. You can't take more than half, right? Okay. Now Y is the volume, right? What's the smallest volume I could possibly have? In any problem anywhere in the whole wide world? 0. Now, I don't know what the biggest is, but I want it to be 125, right, at least 125. So I'm gonna set Y max at maybe 150. Just something bigger than 125, all right? Now hit graph. After you've made those window adjustments, hit graph. Do you see the line crossing the curve?
Yes, ma'am.
So those 2 points where it crosses are where the volume is exactly 125. Alright, so now we're gonna find those. So we're gonna second, trace, intersect. You had Mrs. Hollis last year. This is how you did every problem you did. She loves this method. So second, trace, intersect. Alright, and then I'm gonna move my cursor. We're just playing with that. Remember, if you can't see your cursor, then the screen tells you where it is. So you got something, well, you don't need to see that. You got something that looks like this, and I'm finding this point. So I'm setting my cursor here, and then I'm gonna set it here, and I'm gonna find that point of intersection. And it is 0.942. Anybody else get 0.942? Perfect. All right, that's only one, you gotta find the other one. So we'll start over. So second, trace, intersect. And now we gotta move over here. So we're gonna set our cursor over here and over here. Pretty good. And I got 3.778. So the answer to question number 1, written in your notes, last page, be okay. The answer to question number 1, who signed that? The answer to question number 1, what size corner should we cut? Well, either cut 0.942 or 3.778 inches. Easy enough. What size corner should we cut to yield a box with a volume more than 125. Now, this is the 125 line. So if I want to be more than 125, don't I want to be up here? It says just plain more than, right? Yep, so your answer would be 0.942, comma, 3.778. Everything in between those 2 points. Why are they parentheses and not brackets? Because it doesn't say more than or equal to, it says just more than. These are like open knots for that question. And then, what size should be cut to yield a box with a volume of at most 125? Well, what does that mean? At most 125. Less than or equal to? So now I'm looking at this part of my picture. So how are you going to answer that? This is question C. How are you going to answer that? Where do you start? 0 to 0.942. That's this part right here. Or 3.778, comma what? 6. Good. Remember, this problem ends at 6. On the calculator, that's going to keep going, but not in, it doesn't make sense in this problem. It ends at 6. If you can't cut more than 6 off this piece of paper. Okay? Now, with your teammate, do E, which is repeating the problem, but now the paper's 20 by 23. All right? So everybody's doing it. With your teammate, you're repeating the exact stuff, except your paper is a different size.
Is it the same volume? Like, are we still?
Yeah, we're doing everything the same. Just the size of the paper is changing.
It's pretty obvious, but I think still, I like every game. Are we still trying to get 125?
Yeah. I hope that's we'll see if that works.
Oh no, you're actually like rude about it.
So I feel like you gotta go really.
I was trying to sleep.
Why are you sitting in the classroom? The worst of ever.
And is that all new members?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, did everybody?
Just a second. Do you have a sibling?
Like here?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Okay. Because they don't have that recorded for you,
That's what.
that you've met your quota. You don't have the little green ticket. So I'm gonna email Mrs. Smith and see what she says.
What did it say?
Indians.
out why she doesn't have that recorded. When did you do that?
I did mine yesterday. So maybe it hasn't loaded
Oh,
yet.
no, yours has.
Mine has?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you came up with. So everything stayed the same except the size of our paper. So I hope that for your equation, you get 20 minus 2x and 23 minus 2x
Yeah.
times x. And the order of these doesn't matter. However, it has to be 20 minus 2x. It can't be 2x minus 20, that doesn't make sense. So 20 minus 2x. All right, in terms of your window, since we were shooting still for a volume of 125, that's okay. But this one needs to be changed. If the paper is now 23 by 20, x can go all the way to what? It still starts at 0. It can go all the way to 10.
How do you change your Y max on the calculator?
Press window, click down to Y max and put in any number. Alright, so what did you come up with? Let's see. Alright, because the paper is bigger, this thing shoots up like this, the way you see the top, but you can still find those 2 points. So what did you come up with? I haven't found them yet. I'll take your word for it, I'll find one of them. Alright, so one of them is 0.287. What did you get for the other one? 8.713? Does that sound okay to everybody? So the answer to the first question is, what size corners? Either 0.287 inches or 8.713 inches. The answer to the second question is, I want to be more than 125. So I want to be all up here. So that would be this, comma, this, in parentheses. That would be all of this. And then it says, no more than 125. So we need all of this and all of this. So we're going to start at 0 and go to 0.287. And then we're going to start at 8.713 and go to what? 10. You guys are amazing. You okay with that? All right. Let's put our notes away for now. And today and tomorrow, just on Thursday. Well, like there's nothing. We'll figure it out. Everybody get one?
That's like a man's.
Okay. I want to start by looking at the second sheet. It says Chapter P, Review with Focus. So we're looking at the second sheet. Alright, so we're going to the sheet that says Review with Focus. Yeah, all of that, yeah. This whole thing is sheet, I think. We're looking at Review with Focus. Alright, so here we go. We're just gonna get through as much as we can today. And we'll clean up the rest of it tomorrow. You are allowed tomorrow to come in and ask whatever questions you want. I'm gonna turn some papers out, so, why don't you just get started on this review with focus? You might wanna have another sheet of paper to do it on, because it looks like I didn't do it in this room. And I'm gonna turn back a bunch of papers. And you can go over homeworks and whatever you want tomorrow. We're gonna do a review day. So get started so we can go over.
This. See? There's no point in paper.
We're gonna get as much done as we can. Because we have a test coming up.
Or,
Cooper.
no, I think it
P7
It
is
is
due on Thursday, but it would be great if you could get it done by tomorrow. But it's due on Mr. Charlie's. Right.
That's the additive inverse. Oh, wait, yeah, that's it. See, is the additive inverse? Yeah, probably. Why am I not? Yeah, the data for being. Wait, that's not good. I got it. Yeah, you're wrong. Why did I do 3 there? Why did I added some Greek? Silly mistake. Like just really silly mistakes.
Huh?
Okay, thank you.
I was not more than that.
Come on, let's keep going, guys. Let's get as much done as we can on this front page.
Let's What's A?
I think it's as
What's A?
no. C is C is multiple addition.
C is add inverse, bro.
I think it's mult inverse.
Wait, that was both.
It can be both.
Alright, I'm almost done.
Hold on. B I said it. You put B as I think it's add ID add for B. That's what I put for C. No, wait, no, you're right. C is add
I'm not.
and multiply. B is added ID. So D is top of
Like, I went to the park to do something on the outside.
You got, okay, cause yeah, you always do what you
Alright,
make
so
it.
we're gonna start on the review. Here's what I need you to do for tomorrow. All these papers I handed back, I need you to look them over, and tomorrow we'll start by me saying who has a question about homework or quiz or something, and we'll take care of all that, and then we'll continue with the review sheet, okay? So, but you gotta look at it. I just gave you everything I have. You need to look at it. All right, here we go. What did you say A was? Commutative.
Commutative.
The top one is commutative of addition, and the bottom line is commutative of multiplication. But they're both commutative. Number A is all commutative. B is all identity. The top is additive identity, and the bottom is multiplicative identity. You can abbreviate, multi-ID. Okay? C, those are the inverses. The top one is additive inverse, the bottom one is multiplicative inverse. Inverses cancel each other. D is distributive. Both of the D's, that's distributive. And E is what? Associative. The top one is associative of multiplication, and the bottom one is associative of addition. All right, anybody have a question about that? They're both identities. The top one is an addition identity, and the bottom one is multiplicative identity. All right. Number 2, simplify. This should be easy for you. You might make arithmetic mistakes, but you should know how to do this. How do we simplify this? Multiply the top and the bottom by what, Mike? Which is called the conjugate. Okay, everybody with me? And then we just start FOILing. So first, outside, inside, last. First, outside, inside, last. So I'm not doing anything tricky. I'm just FOILing. What do we know about I squared?
-1.
So this is really -3 that will combine with the 8 and leave you with 5. These can be added to be -49. Those are gone. -9i squared is actually +9. So there we go. Did anybody get to this while I was handing out papers? Anybody get this one? You get that? Good. Write the equation of the line through -2, 2, and 1, 3. All right, and it doesn't tell me what form to answer in. So I'm going to say, let's do this one in slope-intercept form, and we'll do the next one in point-slope form, just in case we have to make that switch. All right, so here we go. What do you want to do there? Minus slope. Doesn't matter how you're doing it, you're finding the slope. So 3 minus 2 over 1 minus -2. I got a slope of 1/3. Now I'll pick a point. So y minus 3 equals 1/3 x minus 1. If there are no directions, then I could stop right here, because that's the equation of the line, right? That's point slope form, perfectly okay. But if, in case, we need a slope intercept, we need to distribute the 1/3 and then add 3. So -1/3 and +8/3, 2 2/3. And that would be the slope intercept. Just in case we need it. All right, now I want to do a line perpendicular to this. We'll do this one in point slope. So 4x plus 8y equals 3. We want to be perpendicular to that. What does that mean? So I need to find the slope of this. How do I do that? Y by itself. And you gotta get y completely by itself. So I'll move the 4, divide by 8. So the slope of the line they gave me is -1/2. Would you agree with that? Which means the slope of the perpendicular will be +2. There's your point. Y minus 4 equals 2x minus 1. So again, if there's no directions, absolutely leave it right here. If it says point slope, that's what you got. If it says slope intercept, you gotta do that. Repeat the problem, but this is your perpendicular. Repeat the problem, but do your parallel. Y minus 4 equals -1/2 x minus 1. Easy peasy. Number 4, write the equation of a circle with a diameter whose endpoints are 1, 2, and -3a. All right, what do you think? Gotta find midpoint. In order to write the equation of a circle, you gotta have the center. And the center will be the midpoint. How do we find midpoint? Add So we add them and divide by 2. So 1 plus -3. And remember, kids, no matter what you're doing, distance, slope, midpoint, anything, it's y with y, x with x. Don't mix them. So 1 and -3 is -2, divided by 2 is -1. And 2 plus 8 divided by 2 is 5. You're writing the equation of a circle. You already have most of it. X plus 1 squared, y minus 5 squared. The only thing you don't have is that number. Your center was -1, 5, so x plus 1 squared, y minus 5 squared, and then this is going to be r squared, the radius squared. So I guess the next thing we need to do is find the radius, which is the distance from here to here or here to here, right? One way or the other. So I'll use this one, right? So my radius will be 1 minus -1 squared, 2 minus 5 squared. So always x minus x. Y minus y, here we go. That's 2, 4. I got root 13, did you? And in the equation, how you, just like you have an x squared parentheses, you have a y squared parentheses. This is r squared, so that would be 13. Cindy's your hand up.
Oh, no, sorry.
All right, number 5. This is a little solve, and there are no directions other than it's a no calculator problem. You can solve it however you want. So whatever you want to do to solve this is great. I'm going to draw a number line. I'm going to put 3 right in the middle of the number line. I'm going to count 4 this way, add 4, get 7. Count 4 this way, subtract 4, get -1. Less than, in between. So there's the answer. You can do that however you want, but you got to get that answer. That is the right answer to the problem. I like to do them with a number line. You know, the calculus strategy, and it's so quick and easy. Alright, that's not bad. We're going through this. What about this one? Again, nobody cares how you do it, but you're not going to do it on the calculator. So you need some algebraic method. Okay, so he says let's factor. How does it factor? It's kind of an easy one, but be careful. I knew somebody would say that. Here's the problem with 3 and 2. It happened, people guess that all the time, it's fine, it's a guess. But what happens with 3 and 2 is, in order to add them to get 5, don't they have to have the same sign? I mean, won't they have to both be positive or negative? And that isn't gonna happen to get -6. So, it's not 3 and 2, it's actually 6 and 1. Is that all right? Factoring is trial and error, and it's okay to guess the best form. It happens to me all the time, and I'm old. I practice doing it. You keep messing with it till you get the right combination. Then I'm gonna draw my number line and put -6 and +1 on my number line. How does that seem? Reasonable? Those dots would actually be filled in this time. I need to shade somewhere on that number line. Now there's two dots, just like I had over here. Right? This one was a less than. When you have two dots and a less than, you're always gonna be shading in between. But when you have two dots and a greater than, you're always gonna be shading outside. So our answer is gonna be negative infinity to negative 6, and that is a bracket. Or 1 to infinity. If anything I'm saying here is baffling to you and you're too shy to ask, you need to get in here for office hours so we can straighten it. Because my guess is, on a focused review, we're looking at some test questions here. All right, C, what's your plan on that one? Get a common denominator. And what common denominator shall we use? 20. So we'll times this one by 5, this one by 4, and then we won't forget this one by 20. Every term, whether it looks like a fraction or not, has to have a 20. You okay? Alright, 5x plus 5 minus 12x minus 8 equals 40x. Negative 7x minus 3 equals 40x. 47x equals, did you get negative 3 47s? Yep, I see some nods, okay, good. Number 6, a problem that will never happen in the real world, but we always do it in math class. I to the 314th power. How do you simplify that? I to the 314th power.
Divide by 4.
Divide, because the powers of I are cyclicals with a period of 4, a cycle of 4, we're just gonna divide that by 4. And I am only interested in the remainder, right? I'm not interested in that. So the remainder is 2, which means this is the same as I squared. And you know, what's I squared? The answer is negative 1. If it goes in evenly, if the remainder had been 0, what does that mean the answer is? 1. Anything with 0 is 1, so I have 0. Alright, let's get some more guessing now. X to the negative 5th cubed. Okay, this is a mess. Alright, who has a thought? Jimmy, yours is good for a thought. You got a thought?
I don't really have a problem.
No thought on this one? We gotta start somewhere. So, yeah, we can, I hate to use the word distribute, but you know, make that x to be negative 15, y to the 9. Now, this one's a little tricky, because this is actually gonna be 3 to the negative 1st, and x to the negative second, and 4y squared. So if you choose to take care of these things first, then that's where you're at. Now what might we consider doing? Yeah, we got negative exponents all over the place. You can take care of that. So x to the 15th is coming down. Y to the 9th is staying up. 3 to the negative first is going up and it becomes 3 to the first. X squared and 4y squared. So I moved the circle ones and left everything else alone. Okay? Now, nothing happens with the 3 and the 4. Would you agree it's just 3 over 4?
Yeah.
What happens with my x's? Let's look at them next. What's gonna happen there? Actually, it's gonna be in the bottom, x to the 13th. Because, think about this for a second. You have 2 x's on top of 15, and they cancel. Only 2 of them are gonna be able to cancel, and the other 13 are gonna be up on the bottom. And then what about the y's? Same thing, but now the leftovers will be on the top. Y to the 9th. You can do that in any order you want. So I imagine some of you did that differently, but this is the answer we should come up with.
Wait, why is it still Y to the 9th? What is it?
Oh, it should be Y to the 7th. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Thank you for being awake at work. Everybody else just sat there and stared at me. I made a mistake, Jimmy pointed it out, and he's still alive, right? I didn't come after him or get mad. So you need to correct me when I make this mistake, especially when I'm on video. All right, number 8. No calculator. No calculator. So you're not gonna graph this, at least on the calculator, you're not gonna graph it. So what's your thought? Greatest common factor, which would be x?
Yes.
Are we gonna talk?
I don't think that factors, does it? So what am I gonna do? I know one of my answers is 0. This tells me that one of my answers is 0. How am I gonna find the other 2? Quadratic formula. Absolutely, we'll use the quadratic formula. After all, it's a quadratic. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This is what I'm showing right here. So I got that 41. So 3 answers, x cubed, 3 answers, one of them 0, and one of them is, 2 of them are this. A new car costs $43,500 and depreciates $22.50 a year. Write a linear equation that describes this. Now, let's start with that part first. write a linear equation. What pops into your head when we say linear equation? Y equals mx plus b, that's what pops into my head. Right?
Yeah.
What does M stand for? That is how much it changes as it goes along. Do I know M in this problem? 2,250 negative. So negative 2,250. Now those of you that are lost, I'm going to show you another way to do the problem. But if you are like locked in here, every year I go down that much. Where did I start? The y-intercept, I started at 43.5.
I think it's the same.
So you are gonna start at 43.5, and then every year, you're going down 22.50. There is your equation. When will the car be worth 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? How will I figure that out? Plug it in right here, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm gonna solve that. And whatever x is, it will be that many years. So if it comes out to be 5.3, it's after 5.3 years. I have no idea what the answer is. Now, if that baffled you, you know that at time 0, this is the value of the car. Could you figure out the value of the car after 1 year? Yeah, it would be that minus 2250, right? Because it's going down 2250. And then once you figure that out, you can calculate the slope. If what I did makes sense. All right, well, we're almost done with our focus review. Then we'll do our other review. Listen.